Hi everybody, this is Big Luca from Dubai. I am one of the highest paid online marketing consultants in the world. The combined revenue from my students are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I am the founder and president of the Big Luca International Consulting Company. And today I'd like to teach you a few things about mono funnel, webinar funnel, evergreen funnel, and mono product. So we receive a lot of questions both in the US and the European market about the quote-unquote Sam Ovens or Dan Henry's model of online marketing, okay, on how to sell products. So I am mentioning these two guys, just, little disclaimer, I have nothing against these two people. I actually believe they're really good. But of course their vision and their view on marketing is really pretty partial, okay, so it's pretty limited. They're pretty famous, so their model has been replicated successfully, but now we will talk about that, in multiple markets. So again, nothing wrong about these people. I like Sam, I don't know Dan Henry, but I'm taking them as an example because they have promoted this idea of do an evergreen webinar, have only one product and make a lot of money. So, as a world-renowned expert on online marketing and strategy, let me tell you about the criticalities and the problem of this model. Let me just adjust my book. Bumps up by itself. Okay, so let's talk about why I don't believe having one funnel and one product works. Okay, so first of all, let me explain what I teach and what a lot of people, by the way, have replicated in multiple markets with great testimonials, by the way. So I'm not saying this is BS, but it is limited. So they have ads. Mostly it was Facebook ad. All right. Right now they're transitioning to pencil doesn't work. Okay. So they're transitioning to YouTube ads, but let's say Facebook ads. Right. They have one webinar. All right, which they call evergreen. Okay, so evergreen webinar, okay, it's only one webinar, and this webinar sells essentially one course, and they used to sell that for organic sales basically, and now they have pretty much all transitioned to strategy calls. Okay, so the webinar sells the course either organically, you can click on the link and purchase the video course, okay, essentially, or you hop on the phone or on Zoom with a strategy call, which is really a sales call, and then you can purchase the course. Okay, this is essentially the old model. The model, the way it started is that the course was essentially $2,000, so let's suppose it's $2,000. Okay, and you send traffic to the webinar, which is evergreen, and now we will talk about it. It's going to be a quite long video. Please watch. If you're selling information online, you have to watch this video. It doesn't matter how much money you're doing, okay, how much money you're making, and then you sell the course. So people have asked me, Big Luca, is this a credible thing to do? Is this the right way to go around doing things? And the answer is yes and no. So let's start with the first thing. So does this work? I see a lot of screenshots. People are telling me they have an evergreen webinar. Are they bullcrapping? Are they lying to me? Are the screenshots fake? And the answer is absolutely not. Okay, so this is true. Okay. You can achieve great results with a webinar, with a product. However, there's a few things you should know about that. First of all, and this is kind of my positioning in the US market and the content I am bringing to you guys. And this idea that if you have one product, you don't have a company. You just don't, okay? And if you have one funnel, you don't have a company, you have a funnel. So we really have to start, and I'm trying not to be sarcastic here, from the dictionary, okay? So a company is not a funnel because otherwise they would be called the same way, right? And this is so important and so crucial when you do stuff. A lot of people you see out there are not entrepreneurs, they're marketers at best. And they can teach a lot of stuff, by the way, but something is missing. So this is not a company and this is not a marketing ecosystem, okay? This is not a marketing strategy. This is at best a tactic. A webinar is a thing. Okay, that's like saying going to war and I have a rifle and I shoot the enemy. I've already made this example. Okay, why are you going to war? How many people are there? What is the publicity around it? It is a covert operation. Is it public? Do we declare more men in order to surprise the enemy? Do we declare less in order to surprise the enemy? Do we declare more in order to scare the enemy because they know 1,000 people are coming and then there is only 6, but they were scared and so they were retracting? What are the political implications about that? Okay, is a rifle better than a gun? Why not two? Do I bring some more weapons to the table? Are you armed in a different way than I am because you're better with rifles and you can shoot the enemy faster, but I only have guns? And blah, blah, blah. This is strategy, okay? This is a tactic at best. This is shoot the enemy with rifle, which is true, okay? I can't argue with that, but there is more context to that. So first of all, this is not a company. So if you only have this model, you're actually not a company owner. You're a funnel owner, and you can have a very profitable funnel, but this is not a marketing strategy, it's a tactic, okay? And you really have to come to terms with this. The other thing is that this goes against the way market works. And if you do marketing, you have to talk to the market. What essentially doing with this model is that you're forcing people to buy only one product by steering them and manipulating them and telling them this product is exactly what they need. Is this true? Well, of course not. There is no possible way one product can fit everybody. And when I say everybody, I don't mean everybody. I mean everybody in your market. You should monetize everybody within your market. You should not move from your market. You should not put your brand on anything. You should not open other things with a big local international brand. But within the market of monetizable people, you should monetize as many of them as possible. I don't know in what world have we become convinced that not monetizing people makes you smart. And I have a problem with these things, right? Only one product. Well, no, that's easy for you to say because you read too much Robert Kiyosaki. Now we will talk about that. Of course, people right now say, what does Robert Kiyosaki do with this example? Well, you will understand this in a while. It's actually a mental issue to some degree. So you only say what problem. That's like saying, I sell cars. And of course, in the car market, there is people wanting to buy Lamborghinis. Let's suppose, again, the market is cars, but we don't sell cars, we sell luxury cars, okay? We focus on that segment of the market. You don't want to focus on too many, but not too few. You want to be specific, but not too specific. This is, by the way, an horrendous mistake people in small markets make or small countries. So in the US market, you can get away with being very, very, very niche focused. In smaller markets, you can't. There ain't enough people. People try to do that in the Italian market as well. I want to teach high-paid dentists in my region how to do marketing. It's like 30 of them. After you've monetized the shit out of them, what you're gonna do? But to some degree, you have the same problem in the US market. It's one to one. So let's suppose we sell luxury cars. There will be people wanting a Lamborghini. There will be people, they don't want a Lamborghini, they want a Ferrari. Right? There will be people wanting a Maserati. There will be people wanting a Bugatti. You get the point. And there is you saying, well, you should buy my Corvette. And I say, because I wanted a Lamborghini. No. I'm trying to convince you that you should buy my Corvette. Now, you will convince some people. Of course, you say, well, Ferrari only sells Ferraris. Yes, but they have a lot of models of that. And the market and the price point is so high. They have so high price point and so many people that the combination of the two can make them billions. With your products, with your market, you can't do it. And you cannot give up so much money, like the money you're giving up. So, evergreen webinar course. Let's start from the webinar. The problem with having one webinar, it doesn't matter how good it is that it talks to different people the same way. And there is a problem with that. It leaves out more than it gets in. You say, my funnel is converting. I want to ask you how many people are remaining out of your funnel because they don't identify with the way you're talking to them. This is where, by the way, the sales calls is so important. Okay? When they didn't have the sales calls, it was a mess because you had to watch the webinar, become convinced to buy the product. But there is a difference between the way you talk to me, for example, and the way you talk to a normal person. Okay? On the phone, there is people that want you to argue with them. There's actually clients that try to push salespeople in order to understand on the other side of the phone there is a tough guy or a tough woman. And once they have tested that and they see resistance, they actually buy. Now, there is people like me, they don't accept that. If I start talking on the phone and you're quote-unquote arrogant, I will hang up. I will not buy, right? There are different types of personalities, right? And you try to monetize them all with one webinar. Of course, this is lacking, yeah? And there's one problem. and you don't sell anything else. Okay, so first of all, you're acquiring customers, you're selling them one product, and you try to live off the spread of traffic, cost of traffic minus revenue. Actually, it's the other way around. It's revenue minus cost of traffic. And by the way, guys, you have other costs. Why don't you sell them more products? Well, the answer is you're lazy. You don't want to have a complex system. But if you want to make a lot of money and really prosper and have longevity in your market, you have to have a complex marketing ecosystem. You will not hack the process. It is so stupid to acquire customers to only sell them once and to never upsell them or cross-sell them, or to upsell them and cross-sell them only, for example, to a mastermind. Same problem. There is a lot of things in between, guys. There's a lot. Okay, so evergreen and course. The other problem with this model, and I have seen this, and this is not, of course, talked about in the industry officially. Guys, you have to understand in the how to make money market, which is not really my market. I mean, I focus on strategy, but you get the point. Officially, nothing ever goes wrong. You realize that? Everybody's making a ton of money. They don't have drop-in sales. Have you noticed nobody tells you there's been a drop in sales? Nobody. Of course my funnel works. Of course, we're making millions of dollars a month profit. Why aren't you freaking billion? And I'm not referring necessarily specifically to some of us in that area. We're very cool guys, and I can teach you a lot about the pre-packaged funnel that works for them, which leaves out a lot of things. It could be a start, and you can deploy this inside of a real online marketing ecosystem. No drop-in sales, no nothing. Do you guys know this is bullshit, right? There is no company that never goes through a dark period. There is no company that never has drops in sales. There is no company whose products stop selling. This doesn't exist. It is the natural way of life. You will not have only one product in one company. It is not the best product. We also have to stop that. Oh, I have the best product in the world. Yeah, right. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. But it's only one. Yeah? You cannot prosper with one product. You cannot prosper with one funnel. Your funnel will stop selling. Do you guys know that? And of course, if you sell a course which contains the same funnel that you used to sell them, you're also in a position in which you cannot tell people the truth, because if this stops working and your whole quote-unquote business is based around that, how the hell are you going to tell people? Can you see the criticalities of this? It's on the amount. It's not a business. It is this funnel works the best. Now there is application to this. Absolutely, there are applications to this. Absolutely, you can make a lot of money with this funnel, but I'm giving you the broader view. Okay? So, you really want to disabuse yourself of the notion that online marketing gurus, which some of us and that others are not, okay? Neither do they claim to be, I believe. They just claim to have a model that works to sell a course, which to some degree it is true. That we never have any problems, that we never lose money, that we never have a bad month or a bad year. Okay? And you also want to disabuse yourself from monthly reports. Can give you a partial view of my company by showing you monthly dashboards. It will make your head spin. However, this is not what we make in a year. Okay, I can make in one day, and I've made that multiple times, more than $100,000 profit in one day. Now, do I make $100,000 profit each day and every day? No, not yet. Okay, that is a partial view. I have made close to $1 million in 2 weeks. It was 860,000 euros in 2 weeks. One of the biggest product launch in the world for my market. Of course, if you're, like, say, in the fitness space or in the nutraceuticals things, you can make 10 millions. But the market is just broader, and that is the thing. Ultimately, we resort back to the market. One of the reasons I'm telling you this is that the market of self-employed people or professionals or entrepreneurs that want to make more money or want to know how to sell information is not infinite. This is not true. Okay, it's actually pretty small, especially if you teach marketing strategy. Take me, for example. Not everybody's an entrepreneur. Not everybody's a self-employed person. So the market is limited. There is people that will never buy information from a quote-unquote guru because they don't trust the guru, because they believe they're smart, because they don't know they should do it, and they don't know they should potentiate and empower their marketing, so they don't do it. And there's people that won't like me, and blah, 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 and the marketing gets restricted. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in a pretty small pond. Of course, the US pond is bigger than the Italian pond, but you get the point. I have students in the fitness niche, for example. It's ridiculous. The broadness of that industry. You really can become filthy rich by monetizing sub-segment of sub-segments, because like fitness is gigantic. Survival niche, dating niche. There are niches and markets actually which are really big. We are not in one of those. Okay. So you really want to disabuse yourself from the monthly report. You can make a lot of money 1 month, that doesn't tell the whole story. And if you want to become a professional and you really want to become rich, you have to have the whole picture. So stop thinking that this works day in and day out, because it does not. They do make offers, and they can. Of course, they don't have a lot of things to sell, so they don't make as many offers, but as soon as they can, they will do the Black Friday discount. But why? Because they have to make up for lost revenue. They have problems with Facebook or AdWords as well. Some days they get banned. Their sales ebb and flow like anybody else. And you really have to get out from the guru mentality, and you have to get into the company owner mentality. Companies have problems. No one product sells forever. No one product should be used to sell forever. No one market should be monetized with only one product. And please don't get into stupid examples of, oh, big Luca, what about Coca-Cola? Oh, please. Please. Oh, Apple, the iPhone makes out for 70% of the... You're not Apple. Please. I'm trying to help you here. You're not. Stop it. Okay? Let's think with a down-to-earth mentality. So, let's go back to this model. What happens when things stop working? This is so frustrating. I've seen this multiple times. What do you guys touch? What do you guys modify? Ain't nothing. It's so frustrating. I mean, so you modify the webinar script. Okay, so the webinar is ebbing and flowing, is stop working. And your funnel will stop working, by the way. So let me give you this example. So let's suppose this webinar is converting at 2%, which is not bad, right? So 100 leads turn into 2%, 2 customers, so that's $4,000. Okay, so let's suppose you're acquiring 100 leads a day. That is $4,000 a day. By the way, not every day is 100 leads. That's the other part. All of a sudden, you start noticing that you only convert, the funnel is only converting at 1%. So you get into scramble mode and you say, bloody hell, I have to modify the webinar. Please think about this from a strategic perspective. Why are you modifying the webinar? Why are you using the webinar in the first place? Because right now you're acting within the system. There is a webinar, and I'm modifying it. Why are you using it? You're not even asking yourself. So you start modifying the webinar. So let's suppose it was long, you make it shorter. It was short, you make it longer. You use another set of words. You modify the headline. You modify your presentation. You change the order from I'm going to present myself and make people understand how cool I am to I will present my product and then tell them who I am, and you switch, right? And through the switches, it goes back up to 2%, and you're happy. By the way, why are you happy about 2%? Who imposed you this percentage? It's ridiculous, doesn't have any sense. We will get to it in a second, because there is a mental reason for this. And then this happens again. And your life looks like that. And then it goes down to 1% again. After a while, there is nothing to modify. It's so frustrating, I can't even begin to explain that. I've seen people cry. Because there's nothing. If you only have one webinar and one product, and it is stopped working, what do? You cannot implement more products, you don't have them. You cannot modify prices. You can modify this price, but hey, you're pretty tight because it's the only product. You cannot diminish the price. Maybe the solution was to sell this for $200 and then to have 5 upsell for $1 grand, $2 grand, $3 grand, $4 grand, $5 grand, and people on the phone cross-selling people. You know how much money you can sell. But you see, since you've become convinced that you should do this, you don't have any leeway. There is not that much leeway for this price. It can only grow, by the way, because this will grow. Cost of traffic always goes up, always. And if now you're using Facebook and you're paying $20 a lead, which is, by the way, pretty good, that's the other part. Think about the ROI. And now you transition to AdWords and you're paying $3 per lead. Well, you may say, I have decreased the cost of traffic, which is true, but it's not because you're using a different source. What happens when that source of traffic goes up as well? Source of traffic always goes up, okay? So you're pretty tight about that. You can't really decrease it because then you're losing money, but you don't have any more products. And if you have more products, but you're teaching people to use this method, it doesn't really make sense, does it? You can increase it, but then it becomes pretty hard to sell very high-ticket products on the front end. Of course, people are going to argue with me, oh no, I sell 10 of them a day. How do you know you wouldn't make much more money, which is my point, by the way, by completely changing your system? We will get to it. I'm going to give you the solution, but I want to analyze this and give you real answers and real replies. Okay, I don't want to say, this sucks. Because it doesn't help you, okay? And it doesn't help them, by the way. So guys, if you're watching this video, which you should, please tune in, okay? So there is nothing to modify, okay? You're talking to people the same way. You may talk to people a little bit differently in your ads, but then they get put in the same place, okay? And you only sell one product. Now, the way it used to work, now they're modifying it, by the way, imagine what? Right? Because it ain't working anymore, it's not sustainable. Is that they would have 2 grand, like 6 grand, and 36 grand. Now this was actually better, but this again leaves out more people that can get in. And they had 2 webinars, especially some of us, 1 webinar for this, 1 webinar for this, and this was a cross-sell to people buying the 2 grand product and the 6 grand product. The biggest issue I had with this, and I have mentioned Robert Kiyosaki, so I know you guys are tripping to find out why I did it. Why do you guys have such a streamlined, forceful, non-variance process? I'm going to tell you why. Because you guys want passive income, don't you? Will never freaking work. I always have this problem, right? You want passive income. All this is working, don't you? You don't want any variables, don't you? Because you guys have to get rid of this mentality that you have to set something up and then you don't touch it anymore and it makes money for you. It is so vicious, it is so unbelievable. It actually violates the very definition of a company. A company is an active process. It is an active process through delegation. It is people that every day wakes up and monetizes the market in an active way. You will not get rich passively. You can make money. And I know that right now people say, oh, but you don't understand, they're making millions. Yeah, they could be making tens of millions. What is your excuse? Now you may say, I'm satisfied with less. We will talk about this in this video as well. A company. What about passive income? Do you know what passive income is and what evergreen is? I'm going to show you in a second. This is what I have, by the way. I have evergreen. I have a CEO. I have a copy manager of copywriting departments with copywriters. I have an ad marketing manager with media buyers and other people and technicians. I have a sales team, whatever, right? I have a sales manager with people. Some of these people have other people. I have another department for graphics and social media. And these people wake up every day and get a pulse of the market, look at the situation actively, and say, what email can we send out today with a promotion and make 5 more grand? It's so easy. Once you have a lot of turnover in the millions, it is so unbelievably easy. We've now launched a few things, very easy. We had already launched them. We are basically reopening them. And we're making an extra 3 to 6 to 7 grand addition every day. Because somebody reopened a course and wrote emails. They didn't stare at the funnel saying, I really well hope this converts today. This is not a company. I have evergreen process because sales come in every day, because there is people monetizing every day. Now, some of the leads and some of the sales are from quote unquote automated funnels. Absolutely. There is, again, is there an application for an evergreen webinar? You bet it. You betcha, as you guys say. Right? Is there a way to combine and to script the webinar so that it converts more? And there is people like Sam and Dan that can teach you that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. But it's a partial way. We have like 50 to 60 products. You may say, well, it's a mess. Well, it is a mess if you don't want to do the work. Let's suppose you have a salesperson on the phone. You're pitching a product. The other guy doesn't want it. You can loop this guy to hell. You can stay silent, as Sam teaches you, or you can loop them, as the Wolf of Wall Street teaches you, to death. But then if he keeps saying no, well, you say, well, I will go to the other lead. But you've paid for that lead. Is that sustainable? Is that the most profitable thing you can do? Isn't it worth for the person on the phone to have a plethora of products within your niche and market to sell them? You know how many times does it happen? How many times it happens that, you should have a sales team, okay? I have plenty of sales people with a manager and then the CEO, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to buy the course, so they're pitching a course and then they can switch. So while they're on the phone, say, oh, listen, you don't want the course, but let me tell you, we have a coaching program. Well, I'm not really interested in coaching. Listen to me, because you can have, listen, you are interested in copywriting, you told me, right? Listen, we have 2 products on copywriting, but you also need to send traffic. We have 2 products teaching you how. Listen, if you act today, we can give you 4 products plus 2 coaching sessions to teach you how to use those courses. And it would be 12 grand. But listen, act now, and it's 7 grand, and it's 7 grand. This is something you can't do with only 1 product. The guy said, no, well, listen, okay, do 1 consulting session with the official coach, and it's 1,000. And maybe that guy will sell them this bundle of products. So once you have multiple products, you can bundle them together in order to reach what they want in terms of product and in terms of price. How stupid is that you hop on the phone with somebody, you sell them a 2 grand product, you could have got 100 grand. This happens all the time. Like literally all the time. Because you don't have anything to sell them, because you don't have a team, because you don't have a company. It's only you with operatives, which by the way represents 99% of online marketing gurus out there. And I'm using online marketing as a broader general term. There is them, they have some abilities. Very few people in the world have this big picture ability, right? And they have a media buyer and somebody that writes copy. But if you don't wake up every day telling them what to do, what do you have left? Automated funnels. Is this starting to make any sort of sense? Please leave a comment. Again, this is not a video in which I am butt-muffing about the web. It's not even a person, guys, so please don't write, you're talking shit about evergreen funnels. It's not a person, so please, stop it. Right? This is the evergreen. Because every day, this is what you want, but it's not evergreen, but it's sales coming in every day. Why do you want evergreen and automate funnels? You want passive income, right? It's like Robert Kiyosaki. Once you have real estate, you do nothing and rents come in, which may be true. You can do videos about that if you guys want. And that's what you're trying to replicate with a business. And you realize the problem. Your business, is not an investment. Everybody after me, not an investment. It is an active operational company. It is an active operation. And you can pacify it. Right? You can pacify it, you can make it passive, but it really goes against the rule of company. It's not a passive operation. There is nothing passive in a company. Every day you're gonna have problems. Do you know that every day you're gonna have problems? Every day. Every freaking day. Because it's a company. That's why it's so important to take money out of your company. Because who knows? Market may end. Funnel stops working. Funnel stop working all the time. Okay? So you really want to create a online marketing ecosystem, as I call it. And the trajectory, guys, is that if you want to maximize the amount of money, you cannot do it with funnels. You cannot say, this is the funnel, this is the product, fuck it. Because there is simply too many customers that are willing to buy, and you need to make this jump. This is what our courses, by the way, teach you, and these videos, all right? This is what we teach. You really want to become an entrepreneur first. Most people are just marketers, and there is nothing wrong. I mean, it's not an insult to be a marketer, but you don't have the big picture and you don't know what you're doing. And why do people end up broke in this space? They end up broke because of that reason. They have a funnel, it's working. They believe it's a company. They believe they have evergreen the process. They start selling the course, or they start selling the product with drop shipping, or something like that. The company, quote unquote, because they have an LLC, so they say, well, it's a company legally wise. Okay, that's okay. And they start making money. They spend the money. Then it stops working. They don't know what to modify because there is nothing to modify. It's the old model that was wrong, or that is now passing, and you should apply another ecosystem, but you don't have any marketing ability, and so you don't know what you're doing, and you keep copying the next guy that you believe is making money but it's not, and then you go out of business. This is like chapter 11, 101. Okay? So you want to have an online marketing ecosystem. A company that through funnels, through calls, through a lot of channels acquires leads, converts them in multiple ways on multiple products. New products popping up every day with people able to do them. Try to compete with me with one product in the same market, reputation wise, okay? There's no chance. It's mathematically impossible, okay? Products, promotion, offers, doesn't mean discounts, I mean offers. Today, let's put out something that attracts the people that have not acted yet. There is a very important lesson in direct response marketing, which is make people raise their hands. What does it mean? How do you make me raise my hand? So, have you ever been in a situation, and if you're a marketer, this has happened to you? People say, I have been in your list forever, but this email is what convinced me to buy. This email is what made me raise my hand and say, I'm interested. Hey, wait a second, this is for me. Do you know how many people are watching you and they're not buying from you because they don't feel compelled to do it, because you only have one message for everybody? And some people simply do not resonate with that message. They just don't. It is not what they're looking for. Maybe you have a great product, but they also want coaching. Maybe the product comes with mandatory coaching, and they don't want to do coaching, right? Now you have variables, but hey, do you want to make a lot of money or not? Okay, so make people raise their hands every day with new offers. This is for you. This is for you. And sooner or later, somebody, a big enough portion of the market will say, hey, this is for me. That happens all the time. And all of a sudden you made 300 sales in one day with this offer. In the same list, for people waiting. So it is an active monetization. This is what company that prospers have. Marketing ecosystem. By the way, you can't do this without people. Now just let me answer a few objections. It was Ben Henry especially that said, well, before meeting Sam, because he's some other student, said, I had a mess in my business, I had multiple products, multiple funnels, and I was making 100 grand a month, and now I have one product and I'm making $1 million a month. Yeah, it's because your old model was wrong. you're comparing really apples to pears or to bananas, right? So you cannot say, I'm not suggesting that if you have multiple products and multiple funnels, you will make a lot of money. You need to know how the hell you're doing it, okay? By the way, try to do it's not true that webinar work. There is a way to do a webinar, and the way you do a webinar is not decided by somebody, it's decided by the market. But let's go back to my examples. If you tried with multiple products and multiple funnels, and it was not working and you were stressed out, is because you did not have a team. A lot of people do not have a team. They do have people work for them, but they don't have a CEO that coordinates the units. They don't have managers. They don't have thinking heads in their company. If you're in a position in which you still have the access to the office email, for example, I don't know where it is. You don't send me an email. I don't see there is customer service. It's another department, by the way, which is run by an office manager who is actually a manager. He can make decisions. I don't make the payments by myself. I check them. I don't have the operational part of my company. I don't know how to open the software that my team uses. I don't even know who is using it to create funnels. This is what delegation looks like. By the way, delegation is not abdication. That's why you have managers. And managers have to check people and make decisions. This is so important. They can make the decision to create a product, launch it, drive traffic. They will choose the funnel. They will write the copy, and I see money roll in. Now, sometime we will do a strategy together. We will do a session, a meeting in which we come up with a strategy together. But then I say, go ahead and kill. And they can decide. They can make decisions. I don't decide the price points anymore. They do. Because they're talking to the sales team and say, well, this price point too high. Let's split it. A the offer. Okay, go. They don't have to go through me. It would be insanity. When people say, I'm stressed out because I'm dealing with too many things. You guys don't have a CEO. That's why. A lot of people don't even know they should have a CEO. I'm not the CEO of my company. I don't work in my company. There is an amazing CEO that does things for me, and he decides that he delegates. And he delegates down to managers, and managers delegates down to the operatives. And if you don't have people that think and co-think with you, you're screwed. That's why it wasn't working. I'm not talking, again, I'm personally, but I'm talking generally. Of course, you cannot have multiple products and multiple shit if it's only you. Of course, you're going to have a funnel and say, well, whatever, at least I'm making money. But that is not longevity. It's not advisable. So you can start from there if you want. But please know that the trajectory is to transition yourself from a one-man band, which a lot of people are. Don't care, how many pictures you show of. This is my team. I have an amazing team. Your team, if they do nothing without you, and they wait for you to tell them things, you really are babysitting people. It's not a company. I mean, you got to get real about that. What happens if you are sick a month? Well, it happened to me in Panama. I have a second residency in Panama City. I contracted the freaking, corona, whatever. And I was knocked out for about a week. And I woke up with more money. Not because of automated funnels. Some sales came from automated funnels because there is a team behind it. As the control of the company. Company is a delegated entity which runs by its own, it's got its own life. Try to close down a company. The ramification of your company, it's a living and breathing entity. Okay? So, the trajectory and what you guys want to do. If you only have one funnel and one product, that's okay. Add to it. Please know your funnel will stop work, please. All right? Your product is not the best product. You got to stop telling that to yourself, right? Saying it to yourself. Create multiple products, create upsells, create cross-sells. What other ways do you have to monetize stuff? Do you have a delegation? Can your people put out products and monetize them? And here is the point. Online, everybody thinks they can be by themselves making a lot of money. And they try to hack it for a portion of time they can. So, why do people end up broke in this space? Run out of money. Why do they run out of money? Because once they have something that produces money, they believe it will stay there forever. So let's suppose you have a mono funnel and you're making 100 grand profit a month, which is pretty respectable. Not a lot of people are making 100 grand a month profit, especially after taxes. I mean, because people call profit what's really not profit. This is incredibly common in the e-commerce quote-unquote space. Don't get me started on e-commerce. Drop shipping, private label, they call it private label. And that's okay. They do revenue, less ads. Don't you have salespeople? Don't you have costs? Don't you have software costs? Don't you have accounting costs? Don't you have staff? Don't you have... No, it's just ads. Revenue, less ads. Well, that's not profit. However, let's suppose you're making 100 grand profit a month. With the right tweaks and switches and modifications, you can make 500. And I am not talking about putting more ads into your evergreen funnel. It should be clear by now. That could be one thing you do. No single one thing will get you there. A lot of people try to get to big numbers by doing only one thing. It just doesn't cut it. I'm sorry. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to deal with complexity. And no amount of things you say to yourself will help. Now, you may have a messy systems and you have to reduce variables. This is very smart to do, but it doesn't mean that you have to only have one funnel. You have to clean up the mess in your company. However, after a while, you will have a complicated system. You want complicated results. Great results are almost always the result of complexity. It looks simple, looks very simple. People online say, big Luca, you saw a couple of courses you're reaching. Yeah, right. That's your perception, but it's not. Okay. So you're missing out on 400 grand. There is nobody that can afford to miss out on 400 grand, and you can actually realize that because people try to increase the conversion of their funnel from 2% to 3%. How much money can that possibly give you? A 1% bump. Now, with a lot of traffic, I realize that it is a bump. So if you can, again, take your funnel from 2% to 3% to 4%, do it. But is it gonna be a 400 grand bump? No. But run your numbers. If you have 10 more products and you need to have staff that handle that, you can do it. You can do a 5x easy with the right systems, but you're gonna have to deal with complexity. So people try to increase, they're happy about a 0.5% bump, and you want me to believe you don't want 400 more grand a month? Doesn't make sense. You simply don't know how to do it. You don't have the courage. And it's also, you want to reach your critical mass, what my mentor Dan Kennedy calls the safe harbor position, pretty soon in your life. The safe harbor position is to have so much money in your personal bank account that you're set. And if something happens, if you wake up one day and don't want to do this anymore, you're fine. You're taken care of. You have dividends, you have capital appreciation, or you can just eat your principal and live. Maybe you will have to contract your lifestyle a little bit. You won't fly private anymore, but you get the point. It is not smart to try to set yourself free by losing money. Your funnel, your product will not last forever. You just want. You gotta have to listen to me. Please listen to me. And don't resort to stupid examples of big company. Oh, Coca-Cola has been selling Coca-Cola. We are not Coca-Cola. Stop it. Seriously. You're gonna have to rebrand stuff. You're gonna have to relaunch stuff. You're gonna have to reinvigorate stuff. Selling always the same. For example, if you sell information, you know this. People want new stuff. New. Sell product, 2 months in, people ask you, big look, is this course still relevant? Shit. You know this. And you will not hack this. You will not hack this. You will not resolve this. You're never gonna fix it. Okay? So, if you only have one webinar, and just to conclude this, because this video is really gone long. Okay, this was the video, evergreen, there we go. Okay, so you really want to understand this. Your evergreen, first of all, let's make a few final points. There is no evergreen process. This is the other part, which is a hijack of the English language. Evergreen refers to a product. So there are products that are evergreen. Coca-Cola is an evergreen product. It sells every day. It is for all seasons. During winter, you drink Coca-Cola. During summer, you drink Coca-Cola. You can be a man and you drink Coca-Cola. You can be a woman and you drink Coca-Cola. There's children drinking Coca-Cola. It's evergreen. It always goes, if you have a party, you need to have Coca-Cola. For a formal dinner, there will be people drinking Coca-Cola, or there will be people saying, I'm drinking champagne, but I really like Coca-Cola. You get the point, okay? There is clothes that are an evergreen. They always go. They're always good. For example, a shirt is an evergreen. A white shirt for a man. Men will always buy them because you can never go wrong with a white shirt. So let's suppose you don't know how to dress, and it's not an incredibly formal dinner, and you show up wearing jeans, good shoes, white shirt, and a blazer. You're set. It's an evergreen. You cannot go wrong with that. Maybe if you go to a pool, it's probably, you get the point for the most part. So evergreen really refers to a product. And what this system, this tactic, this thing, this step, which is only a step in the process, tries to do, is to make the product the process. But the process is not the product. Okay? So you keep saying to the market that this is the product they want because it's the only one you have. Anytime you force the market to do something that they don't want to do, you're already in trouble. Now, there are occasions in which you do it. So if you're selling a very expensive mastermind, you don't want everybody in there, and you actually want to put barriers to entry in order to do takeaway selling. Then it's another thing, okay? Of course you have to do it. Of course you just don't want everybody. For example, if you're an annoying customer and you get on the phone that you insult my sales team, or they understand you're going to be trouble, they don't sell to you. Doesn't matter how much you scream and cry. So that happens, of course. You have to have limits, but you get the point. So this is a partial view of marketing. Yes, you can make money, and you can make quote unquote also a lot of money, but you're losing more money than you're making mathematically. It cannot be any other way. This can be inside of an online marketing ecosystem in which you have multiple funnels, multiple sources, multiple organic sources, multiple paid sources. You have people, you have webinars that people don't see, that are only promoted to the list of buyers, and different buyers, different products, and they get upsold and cross-sold different products on the phone because you have multiple products. And some products you only open once a month, and some products you only open once a week, and some products you can cut the first 2 hours and make a free product, and then you can upsell them to the other product because they have seen the first. There is so many things you can do once you understand what you're doing. So it is a partial view. These are the main criticalities that I was thinking about and the main things you should be aware of. Hope you like this video. Put a thumb up, subscribe to the channel, check out our website, and thank you very much.